second as we go. I don't know if I'll get everybody, but we'll do our best.
All right, we'll do our best. Good afternoon. Great day, fun day, just all together. Obviously, it culminates with the scrimmage, and we're going to go spend some time with the guys and their families. But got a chance to meet with the parents this morning. Met with some different groups. Got a chance to get Coach Saban and in front of the team. That was pretty cool. Just get a chance to see him. And that's been since January, really, where that's happened. So really a lot of cool things. Scrimmage-wise, shoot, if it was a half, right, it'd been a tale of two halves. But that's why I keep playing. So many things that we're going to get to learn from this scrimmage. Depending on what side of the ball you're on. So I think overall, I count. I was trying to keep track during, so I might be off, but I think we had 6 penalties between the two sides, which over whatever was 85 plays probably roughly. Kind of guessing that's not too bad. That's actually improved each and every scrimmage. So I'm looking at those things and where we're improving. Rushing touchdowns offensively, the response defensively, getting down early. And some of those things, little things that the game brings with the TV, ESPN broadcasting it, and us working through TV timeouts and when to take the huddle and just talking through that. Right now, not that big of a deal if we're out there standing over the ball, but it will be this fall. And just a lot of things with guys who have never had that game action, starting from the quarterbacks to the rest of offense and defensive sides. So I thought it was a good overall scrimmage. Again, both sides kind of had their moments. So, questions?
We'll start with Nick back here.
Yeah, guys like Jam, Richard, Justin. I mean, what kinds of things do you see today that have been constant throughout the spring that you weren't surprised by?
Jam, Richard. In the backfield, running backs. So, it was. I thought they did a better job of when they saw a hole today, they hit it. And especially early on, there were some seams, and they're not dancing, which means they're getting more and more comfortable with the schemes, the trusting of the offensive line. So I thought that was something. There was a couple more tackles broken, which goes both ways, right? You want to see those tackles made by the defense. There was more tackles broken early on in the scrimmage than what I've seen. We've been pretty sure with our tackling up until the early part of the scrimmage today. So, and then they responded and did a better job.
How do you think Ty Simpson did today in terms of just command of the offense, performance, and just overall that backup quarterback position? How do you see the growth this spring?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it. He does a great job back there. You got full confidence with a lot of those guys back there. But Ty, I thought, again, he's just been consistent, and gotten better throughout the spring. Never really had any drops in each and every practice. So, I mean, you see what he does out there, and he's accurate. He knows when to put touch on it. I saw the one ball on the deep crosser. He's got good awareness. I thought all the quarterbacks did a better job of pushing the pocket at the right time. That's something I know we've been emphasizing, rather than just sit back there and let that rush on the edges get to you. He had a good feel in all those ways. I think he's got a command of the offense for sure.
Front with Kennington, same side.
We saw two young guys, Olaus and Rock, kind of working at different positions across different groups. What did you see from them today, and kind of what have you seen from them throughout spring as they've been moving around?
Yeah, and that's what we needed to do. A little bit out of necessity, just with guys getting dinged up, and just being careful too with guys maybe that have been dinged up, and just limiting the number of snaps up front. But it was good for those guys to work in because you do see a difference with the execution. Let's talk the offensive line. When one or two new guys are inserted, there's just a little bit another level of communication. So, these are the moments you want to do that. Come this fall, we get into the season, we're playing games. You want to be able to look back and count on these moments where those guys were inserted. Had to do some things where it was different groups working together than really any of the scrimmages that we've had. So, good learning moment for not just them but the offensive line in general. Working together.
I think we saw Jihad and Jaheim out there in pads, but didn't go through the scrimmage today. So kind of what's their status and how are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing good. If we had another week, for sure if we had 2 weeks, but if we had another week of spring ball by the end of next week, I think, again, I'm not the one that clears them, but I think they'd probably be both really close to being ready to go. So you just want to be careful, and not push it. We don't want to set them back and they're right on pace. So they're right where we expected to be based on what they each had, which are completely different types of injuries.
Charlie?
Yeah, hey, Coach. With Jeremy Bernard coming in, how have you seen him adjust over the course of spring, and what do you think of the day he had today?
Yeah, I think he had a great day. I'm not sure if it was him right at the end there. I'd like to rake that one in, but he just, you saw right away. The one that sticks out to me was the catch and contact. He went and high pointed the ball, and that was him, right? I was it was way down the field. I thought it was him. Sometimes I'm watching a lot of things, but I thought that was that's what he does. He's a physical guy. The ball's up in the air. It's his. He's got that mindset. I think the guys, the quarterbacks in particular, really believe in him, and he's been, he's a leader because that's just naturally what he does. But he's just really tried to work in with the receiving core, become one of them, and he had some opportunities today and took advantage of them. He's going to be a good one for us, that's for sure.
Okay, we'll go Joe Goodman and then Chase.
Kalen, how does spring football in Alabama compare to Sioux Falls?
Well, we go back so far. We couldn't even get to the point where you could go full pads back then with the rules. So there was the spring game was thud tempo, and so there's a lot of differences. Whatever it was, 70 plus thousand is what I heard, 72,000. We're just shy of that there. But the cool thing is football's football, and what you see is at all the places you're at, guys that love to get out there, and they're excited about their opportunity to go out and make plays and play the game they love. But this was a special day.
Chase.
Coach, early in the scrimmage, Jalen Milroe hit a couple of deep shots for touchdown drives that were really quick, just a few plays. The other quarterbacks scoring touchdowns, more methodical, 10 plays, 14, I think one of them. Did Jalen show that ability all spring to go 70, 80 yards, kind of like that with the deep shot?
I think it's come along for all the quarterbacks, so that would mean, with Jalen too, it's something that's progressed throughout the spring. I don't think any of our guys, because it's just timing, it's confidence, it's read progressions and things like that, and identifying and there's my one-on-one, there's the guy where to put the ball. So I think it's been something that's gotten to this point, and it was great to see him continue to take that next step and have that progression. So the last week or two, I think that's been pretty consistent. Early on, I can't say any of the quarterbacks were just getting dialed in and those plays were being made. So that's what got the offense to a hot start, with the scrimmage, is those explosive plays. And I love that we can come out of the locker room and, the kickoff happened and we're ready to go. Throw, catch. I thought the protection, especially the first half to three quarters, the protection was as good as we've had. Now, some of that's attributed to early on just kind of being a little bit more maybe vanilla defensively, things like that. But the offense stayed ahead of the chains, stayed in positions where, they could be dual threat, run, pass options, take your shots when they were there.
Chris Lowe.
Hey, Kalen, you've got one spring under your belt here at Alabama. So what's resonated most about this place to this point, this team, and the challenge that lies ahead for you guys?
Yeah, I think today was probably the day where it just really felt, seeing the guys come on the walk of champions, just seeing that and feeling the energy and the excitement of what it would be on a Saturday. That was a lot of fun. And being in the locker room, just the excitement, and even today out there, I thought the guys, as hard as they're playing, there was times where they were out there just looking out for each other too. I don't care if it was, offense to offense, defense to defense, but most importantly, offense and defense, playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. The energy, wanting to go out there and make the plays, but also not putting the team at risk, just to go out there and make that one potential play that could put someone at risk. But the energy, the excitement kind of leading up to the spring game was something I think kind of hit me today.
John Zena.
Along the same lines, I think you had a couple thousand more than Husky Stadium holds, and that's for the spring game. Did you ever kind of look around and say, wow, Alabama football's, you knew it was kind of a big deal, but was it kind of fun to see that in person?
Yeah, I think, caught caught that a little bit, I think, early on, just, enjoying that moment. And I think as much as anything, trying to make sure the guys did too. And so, you take it in when you're emphasizing the guys, hey, enjoy this moment. You guys worked hard for this. And for a lot of these guys, this is their first spring game as well, their first A-Day. So a lot of freshmen, some transfers. And so, I made sure that, they relish this day. And, when you say those things, you do it yourself as well.
Two more, Tony and Kate.
I know these things kind of go both ways, but no turnovers as an offensive guy, is that something that you kind of take delight in?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been the difference probably in the scoring. That's usually with the scoring system we use where you get the takeaways and the score evens up in a hurry. The offense has done a pretty good job. I don't think any of the scrimmages, the quarterbacks threw a pick in all three of them. Now, there was times when the ball was on the ground in a couple scrimmages. So, defense, flying around has caused some turnovers throughout the spring. And got their share of interceptions in our different scrimmages that we've had that weren't part of the big three when we're live. So when it matters most, I guess you're proud, and I noticed some ball security too. That I was impressed with. I think that's come a long ways. I watched a drill on Thursday, in particular, where it's a circuit that we run, and the ball security for these guys, and you kind of hammer and scream at him over and over for 15 practices, and you're like, man, I don't know if they're getting it. But you saw on Thursday, how far we've come if you flip the film on from that drill compared to the first day.
Finish up with Kate in the back left.
You hit on this a little bit in your opening, but what did you like about the response from the defensive side of the ball after they got down 31-0, and it's a little harder for them to score in this format?
Yeah, it is. And really just not worrying about the score. And I heard that on that side, just not worrying about, just continue to get better and be in the moment. Get the guys on the ground when they had the chance to tackle, and just play the next play. And we talk in terms of a 1-0 mindset, so win the next rep. And they did that more, than the offense did in the second part of the scrimmage. I think the flip side is there were some easy plays the offense just needs to make, catching the ball in particular. And, for whatever reason, those are some great learning moments that we will carry into the summer, on both sides. Why you don't stop playing and why you got to keep your head and keep the focus and stay locked in for the entire time you're on the football field.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you. Roll Tide.